While the world is arguing, Angel Reese just broke another WNBA record. So Angel became the youngest player to have 450 points and 450 rebounds, which is a big accomplishment considering all the bigs that played in this league. I guarantee you 85 to 90% of the best players that's come through the WNBA and even currently are all power forwards to centers. And she's shattering the mold because of her unique skill of grabbing rebounds. And that's something that separates her from everybody. Everybody has the opportunity. There's the same amount of possessions for the other team and her teammates to go get boards, but she just has a nose for it and a knack for it. And that's what separates her from the rest. It's a great accomplishment when you consider people like Asia Wilson came in the league and put up 20 points a game her rookie season and still put up a decent amount of rebounds. I believe she was at 8 rebounds a game. So for Angel Reese to even outdo her numbers, her amount of games to get to this feat is a big deal. And I know Angel Reese has this thing that I like to call the LeBron effect. Everything they do, it gets discredited. And that's just the way it goes for them. But this is a huge accomplishment. Like I said, it's the best players that has come through this league have been bigs, and nobody's done it quicker than her. And so she deserves her flowers for doing that, especially with her only scoring 13 points a game. That's also included that she only was putting up 13 points a game. So, yes, she was doing, 13 rebounds per game compared to Candace's 8. But she was only doing 13 points. So she was still able to knock out that accomplishment in such a short amount of time. And that's just all tenacity, man. Rebounds is about effort, about want to, and there is some skill put in there. Some people can read the ball, carrying right off the rim and know where to go. And she's somebody that I think combines everything it takes to be a great rebounder, and that's something you got to want and go after. And she seems like that person. And it's not because she lacks the ability to score, because she was at LSU in college and she was doing 24 points a game and still put up, I believe, 14 rebounds a game. So it's not like she's saying, oh, I'm not scoring, so let me get boards. No, she's going to get boards whether she's scoring a lot or whether she has the lowest amount of points in the game. You can guarantee her to go get after those rebounds, which made for an impressive rookie season. I enjoyed watching every one of her games. I watched as many games as I could watch of every team. I think I've seen almost all the Sky games. My daughter's a fan, so we sat around the TV and watched her games. But it made for a great year, and we were dealing with a rookie. And these rookies last year were held to the highest standard probably any rookies has ever been held to. They were expected to come into the league and be superstars. And the reality of it is most of them had very normal rookie numbers for a year. Angel, in any other year, would have easily been rookie of the year. If you go back and look in history, that 13-13 is something that you actually see from rookies. I believe Aaliyah Boston won it the year before with 14-10. So 13-13 would make sense for, a rookie of the year. But she was held to this high standard and still is. But the good thing about Angel is there's so much room for growth. And her team is still in a rebuild. And I think people that watch the sport, commentate, forgot about that this team is in a rebuild. Rebuilds don't happen in 1 year, don't happen in 2 years, 3 years, 4. Sometimes rebuilds take a very, very long time. And people only kind of pay attention that last year that they start bubbling or start popping. But rebuilds take a long time. And she came to a team that was in a rebuild because they won the championship a few years ago. And then I don't think any player is left. No player is still there from the championship, but Vandersloot came back, if you get what I'm saying. She left and came back. But besides her, they have no more of that championship DNA in that team. So it is a process. And you watch the game this week, and she looked like one of the few people that could handle the bright lights of opening night on the biggest stage with the loudest crowd. She was the only one that could handle that. And if you think about the NBA, if you grew up watching the NBA, you look at teams that were that was led by rookies or second-year players. It's normal for them to struggle in those moments. It's normal for them to go through some bumps and bruises, and that's where the Chicago Sky is right now. I know they surrounded them with some vets this year, but they weren't all-star vets. So it's going to still look like it's going to rely on their building blocks of Angel and Camilla, which I have big hopes for them, because again, it's only your second year in the league. This is not when people pop and become superstars in the second league. That's not a normal thing. We're seeing, like I said, I don't want to keep comparing to the NBA, but we're seeing some of those teams in the playoffs now being led by young players, but they've been in the league 5, 6, 7 years, and they're just now getting to the point where they're competing for championships. And that's just because you go through a rebuild. If you're a high draft pick, that means you're probably not coming to a good team unless you get lucky. And that was just not the case for Chicago. They won a championship a few years ahead, and they went through a full rebuild. Their championship MVP is gone. Candace Parker is gone. Coppers, who I was talking about, she's gone. And just that whole DNA they had in Chicago is gone. So now they're literally building from ground up, which is promising when you're a young star player. And they just so happen to have 2 players with the potentials to be superstars in this league, but it's going to take some time to build. So right now, Chicago is in a building phase, which kind of makes me backtrack to last year when people were saying, well, they were too focused on getting double-doubles. They weren't destined to get too many wins, so you kind of celebrate the moments you get to celebrate as a team. Those are big moments. We may have lost by 5 points, but Angel got the 15th double-double, and that's a big moment. That's something that you can build on with a young core. We came together. This moment happened. We're gonna remember this forever. 2 years down the line is something that's gonna hold. Something that's gonna hold us together when times get rough. Hey, we were there. We were winning 13 games a year, and Angel was still just being her. And now look at us. We're winning 30 games a year, and she's still getting dope. Like, those moments are built off of what happens during the rebuild. So there needs to be some grace with this team and this organization. Angel is going to be a bright star. She's going to continue to do what she does. She started off the season with 17 rebounds. 17 rebounds. Like, that's just not a normal thing, especially from somebody 6'3". She's not 6'9", 6'7". She's not Brittany Griner's height. No, she's 6'3", and she's still out and doing her thing. I'm AJ. This is my mic. Peace.